All right, if you want to be successful, you cannot be negatively influenced by other people. A few years back, there's an NBA arena that was planned on being built here in Sacramento, California, for the basketball team, the Kings. And there was a wealthy family that owned the franchise for many years called the Maloof brothers. And for those who don't follow basketball, these guys were young group of brothers, and they were well known in the NBA. A lot of charisma and outgoing, and they were celebrities who definitely are in Sacramento and well loved for many years. And they started getting a lot of negative press in the local paper called the Sacramento Bee and online, because they weren't going to build this arena. And it sounds like people wanted to build this arena. There's a lot of momentum. Build the arena. And they didn't want to. There was just a disagreement in the process going forward. So there's a lot of negative press about them. Whether it was true or not, I have no idea. But so one of the brothers, I happened to talk to and have a relationship with one of the brothers. I asked him, I said, what do you do about all this negative press that you're getting? People are saying things about you. I mean, is it true? And are these actually true allegations? How do you handle that? Doesn't it bother you? And he says, Gavin, you can't be susceptible to the negative influence of other people. Zig Ziglar once said, you can't be a SNYOP, susceptible to the negative influence of other people. And so what this brother said is that I don't read, watch, or listen to it. So I have no idea. He says, I really can only control what I can control in my universe and my sphere of influence, and everything else is outside of my influence. So I don't let it affect me. I don't even read it. In fact, if I get an email, if I get a text message, if I get a call about it, I read the first sentence, it's bad, delete, gone. I'm focused on something else. What can I do to provide value to other people and help others? So it's funny when you hear a story in the press and you're hearing one way of how it really is, but then when you actually talk to the source about who the stories are about, like I did, they have no idea. They had no idea that stuff was going on negative about them. What did they care? What did he care? Because it really, he could not affect the outcome of what other people were thinking, saying, or doing about him. All he could do was do the best he could with what he had and the resources that he had. So this is Gavin Mehl Global Mastermind call number 13. It's number 31 of the calls I've been hosting weekly. And today is the 26th of February, Friday, 3 o'clock. And I really want to talk about our termites in your head. And I use the word termites kind of loosely, but it's like our negative thoughts that somebody else put into your head, are they gnawing at your success, at taking you to where you want to go? It's a really valuable lesson here that I learned because of mistakes I had made in the past. So Gavin Mehl Global Mastermind call is just a student's call. I'm not a guru or I'm not somebody that's I just want to point you in the right direction to help give you information that you already know, stuff that's already inside of you if you're watching this, because I want to provide tremendous amount of value to help the group, help the mastermind, help the community grow with the experiences that I've had. I had tremendous success at a business at a young age. I reached the #1 position at a large company at a college. Started a business here in Sacramento and had a tremendous successful business. But it was great for a long time. But the financial crisis was devastating, and I as well have had financial crash during the outcome, financial failure during the financial crisis. So everyone's on the same page, and the fact that we've all had difficulties at different times in our life. And the important part is that I've learned there's something called the law of compensation. And this is I want to get this out now because this is probably the most important lesson that I've learned in the last 10 years. It's about providing value. Okay, there's a law of compensation. Master Key system talks about it. Emerson talked about it. Napoleon Hill talked about it. It's a universal law. It's just a principle that it's true. Master Key says it like this. In the physical world, there's a law of compensation, which is that the appearance of any given amount of energy, okay, anywhere, means the disappearance of that same amount of energy somewhere else. And if we can find that we can only get what we give. So if we pledge ourselves to a certain action, we must be prepared to assume the responsibility for the development of that action. The subconscious cannot reason, okay? It takes us for our word. So if we've asked for something now, we are now to receive it. We've made our bed. It's now ours to lie in it. And the die has been cast. The threads will carry out the pattern that we have made. That's from the Master Key System, part 15, 29. So the law of compensation is about providing value. Okay, this is the key, the major point that I've learned that's taught me the most. Definitely on the way of online marketing, and the way of being around people, and the way of email marketing, and the way of selling in anything, okay? Or just, and again, selling, even if it's not your occupation. We sell our family, we sell our friends on a good, clean, positive way of life. We sell our children on the fact of, hey, it's good to get an education. It's good to exercise and stay sober and be healthy. So we are selling, and it's important that we're providing something of value, because this law, when we understand the law of compensation, it truly works. It truly works. We got to give first in order to receive. I know this goes back to biblical times and the passages, and it's something that you already know if you're listening to this. This is not something that I'm teaching you haven't heard before. You already know this, but it's important that I remind myself of this every single day. So I am here to provide tremendous amount of value at no charge, no cost, at no with a commitment to provide this value, to provide this information from the heart. You know, because I know it's going to help people. I know that what I'm doing and what we're doing together as a collective consciousness is going to create a massive amount, is part of creating the massive amount of shift, okay, in the way of elevating humanity to a higher level of consciousness. And I believe it's going to be a prosperity consciousness. And it's already happening, okay? It's already happening, and I have lots of proof of that. But I want to talk about today about, I love talking to stories. So I love stories. When I was a kid growing up, I always learned from stories. If I ever heard the words "once upon a time," that's the one thing that could take me down from running out in the park and playing and not listening to mom and dad. But if I heard "once upon a time," I could boom, have my attention. I want to listen, get my imagination going. So I do want to provide entertainment, while at the same time enjoyment and a lot of valuable content for you to absorb that will hopefully help others. I know it will. So there was a friend not too long ago here in Sacramento. There was a building that was being built, and it was called the Aura Tower. It's a high-rise office building, and this is during the big financial boom. So I had an office down on 770 L Street, which is one office building. And there was a big apartment, condominium tower, luxury tower that was being built like right next door. So one day I go outside, I walk to the bank, which is 2 blocks away. This is in Central City, downtown Sacramento. I walk outside of the bank like I did every Friday or whatever it was. I went to the bank every Friday to get things done. And out of a car pops this guy in a white, it was a white, never forget, white Bentley convertible coupe. It was the flying spur model, something I'd never even seen before. And out pops a guy in a white suit, shaved, completely shaved head, sunglasses, looks like a guy from Miami Vice, but he has the look of like an Egyptian pharaoh, if you can get the picture of that. You know, like kind of the old movies of a guy from like thousands of years ago with the beautiful skin. I said, I stopped in my tracks. I said, hey, dude, you're not from around here, are you? And he says, no, I'm not. And real casual conversation. I said, well, great. Hey, well, welcome to Sacramento. My name's Gavin Mehl. If I can show you around or point you in the right direction, introduce you to anybody, let me know. I'd love to provide some value and get to know you better. So got his number, and we ended up talking. Turns out that he was the guy building this tremendous condominium tower. We became friends, and the guy had tremendous success building other apartment buildings in Denver, and then also became like a mini Donald Trump in New York City, where he built these mini high-rise skyscrapers. So I go out and visit him one time in New York City. This is how we met. I go out and visit him one time in New York City, and kind enough to let me stay at his house. I mean, I got his beautiful place in Upper East Side. I just got nothing but love and gratitude for the guy. But he had a lot of negative press about this stuff going on in Sacramento because people had bought into this tower, right? So hundreds of people had bought into this tower, and there was a financial crisis going on, totally out of his control. And it's like, when is it going to get done? Is it going to get done? There was a lot of negative press. So I go out and visit him in New York. I'm like, Craig, you're out here in New York doing your thing and successful. Well, Sacramento is small compared to what you're doing out here in New York. But I said, aren't you worried about all this negative press and negative talk and what people are saying about you? Is it poisoning your thoughts? He's like, so calm and cool and just collective. I mean, let me just put this into perspective. He had purchased, and this is in the Wall Street Journal, this guy had actually purchased, I didn't know how successful he was. He purchased a building on Park Avenue for $255 million on Park Avenue. Okay, this is a bank building that he purchased. It was in the paper, and I had no idea he was this successful. So I'm talking to the guy. I said, Craig, how do you deal with this negative press? I said, this is driving me insane. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even think. It was getting me upset reading what they were saying about him because I didn't know it wasn't true. And he was cool, he was calm, he was collected. He's like, Gavin, relax. If I see, hear, or listen to something someone's saying about me, I don't read it. I don't pay any attention to it. Why would I let them put termites into my head? And I thought, termites in your head, that's an interesting analogy. Yeah, why would I let somebody I don't know, who I have no effect over, no control over what they're saying, put termites in my head and affect my joy, right? Because that's really what we're after is happiness and joy. Affect my joy and happiness in any way, because I can't control what they're doing. So that really is what it comes down to. If you want to be successful in life, you cannot let someone else put termites in your head. Think about it this way. If someone knocked on your door, okay, they're here at your door, they're visiting, I get the doorbell not ring. I got neighbors here and the doorbell rings. Like, okay, hey, what's up? What's going on? The guy comes in and it's the guy from Clark Pest Control, the pest company. He's like, hey, I've got this bag of termites right here. Do you mind if I bring this inside and let it in and run all over your house? And I say, no, excuse me, I don't want to have any of those termites, please. No, thank you. I'll keep those out, keep those away. Thank you. Exterminate those. And I close the door on him. And he comes back again. He says, hey, I'm back again. I'm servicing next door, but I got rid of all the termites, and here I'm going to bring them inside your house. Do you mind? I said, oh, no, excuse me. I don't want those termites here. And I slam the door in his face. And I move on. I say, bless that guy. I love him. Forgive me for being upset at him, but I'm going to move on. I'm going to let him go. I love him. Thank you. So it's the same way of somebody posting about you on Facebook. Maybe somebody's posted about you on online or on a video. I know I have before, and I've done this. So let's say recently I post a video and somebody says, oh, you know what? You don't know what you're talking about, Gavin, or you're no good. Whatever the comment is, it's like I don't even look at it. I can sense it when it comes in, and I delete it instantly. But before I would sit and fester about it and let it affect my joy. It would put termites in my head. And you know what those termites do? They procreate, they spread, okay? They grow, and then they start gnawing over time and completely squash my dreams, my hope, my joy. It's very important if you want to be successful at anything in life, whether it's making money, whether it's having a happy family, a happy marriage, okay? Or just providing value to others in your family, your community, and church. You cannot let termites get in your head. Now, if you're watching this this live or on the recording, you know you're way ahead of the curve of most people. So this may not be you at all, but you probably have a good, you probably have a good sense of balance. If you're watching this, you probably are centered, you're balanced, you're peaceful, you're loving. But what I'm saying is that sometimes, like the pest control guy, he can come knocking on my door and he could try to throw termites in my house without me wanting him there, right? So even though I'm doing what's right, I'm doing what's good, and I'm controlling my thoughts and actions, and I'm in harmony with going the right direction, sometimes someone who maybe I care about, a neighbor or this guy who's trying to service the house, could throw termites in the house. So it's important that we watch out for that and we get rid of that. So I'm going to talk about exactly what we can do. What can I do to eliminate that? Because it's a big deal. First of all, I acknowledge that it's happened. Okay, I acknowledge that there has been a point in time in the past where I had termites get in my head. I had negative thoughts or actions from somebody else come and affect and steal my joy, and I let it fester and gnaw and start to take away my dreams. I got to admit that it's happened before, because it has to me. I'm not perfect. It definitely has. And I'm a student. I'm working at it constantly. That's why I'm talking with this today, because it's a helpful exercise for me too. And I want to provide this type of value out to those who watch. So I was at this company, right? Big company, tremendous success, 10,000 salespeople in the company. And I was blessed enough, fortunate enough to discover this law of attraction idea I talk about at a very young age. Accidentally, I'd never heard of the law of attraction, I didn't even know what it was. But I knew what I wanted, and I just went after it with passion and furious focus, enthusiasm, telling myself I could do it. I believed I could do it eventually, and I eventually did. I became number one in the company for 20 straight months. So it was a big feat. But when you're on top, when you're on, you pick that role, you get the spotlight like that out of all these people. Well, there can be a lot of negative things that come with it too, with the success. Rumors started getting out there about me at the time, and I'm young. I mean, I didn't have any training about this. I didn't know about this stuff, but so rumors would get out there and start to affect me. They said, "Oh, this guy is committing fraud. Oh, this guy is cheating the system. Oh, this guy has a team of people. Gavin has a team of people working for him at his house or his apartment, that he lives at. There's a call center there, and they're doing all the work for him. There's just no way possible that he can do this by himself." So there's all these different rumors that go. This goes on, and like I listened to it, and it bothered me. I started getting termites in my head. This goes on for months. I would go to sleep at night worried. I would be worried about it. And I had these termites, this negative thought in my head of a fear. It was a fear-based thought. Oh, what could happen? I was scared that I could lose my job. I was scared that I could get called out and I could lose my job. They say, well, you are, even though I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong, I was just scared. I was scared, and termites started infesting my head. So this what happened is a perfect example of the law of attraction. Because I was scared, because I had these termites in my head at night, of this fear thought, thinking I would lose the success that I had. One day I get called in. This is a true story. One day I get called into the office of it was the VP or SVP of the region there. It was in Rancho Cordova here in Sacramento. And I get called. It was like on the loudspeaker, the old school phone. You pick up the phone. I pick up the phone, and it's my man, Krisky. And he's like, "Hey, dude, we got to go in and talk to the big boss." I'm like, "Oh." And I knew. I was like, I had that sinking feeling in my stomach. I was like, "Man, this isn't good. This isn't good. The big boss wants to see me." And even though I'd done tremendously well, I had this fear, these termites in my head that made me think that it wasn't going to be good. And so I get called in there, and they lay it on me thick. well, hey, dude, we hear that, and they actually said, he said the word dude, and the guy's name is Joe. And he says, hey, dude, I know you're doing well here, and that's great, but, we have the reason to believe that you're cheating the system and that you have a call center at your penthouse apartment. I lived in a penthouse apartment at downtown Sacramento, high-rise apartment. It was a corner of 1500 7th Street, basically corner, beautiful penthouse, right? Huge, amazing place. It was incredible. Atrium inside. I mean, it was a dream, my dream place. And I thought, I don't have anybody at my house doing calls for me. It's just me and a buddy there. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, okay, really? Why do you think that? And so he goes, well, we have reason to believe that you have a call center running there, and he was basically threatening to fire me. Okay. And I said, wait a second, Chuck. I said, you got to plead my case. I haven't done anything wrong here. And I said, how do I rectify the situation? And well, you could let us take a look and see. And I said, all right, let's do it. True story. This termite caused this head-on collision with my biggest fear. Now they want to come and investigate me. This is a true story. They investigate my apartment, my penthouse apartment, because there's supposedly fraud going on there. Not fraud, but a call center. We drive there, get to my where I live at the penthouse. It's penthouse 3 at the time, or penthouse 8. I moved from one to the other. But we get there, I'm just chilling them around, laughing, have a good time. Because I know at this point, I felt good. I started feeling good because I knew I had nothing to hide. So I said, yeah, let's go check it out. We get there. Of course, there's nothing going on, just a guy's apartment, beautiful view. I mean, they made some funny things on, we had a computer there, and the computer was trashed. It was nothing going on bad, that's for sure, or illegal. But the bottom line is that I brought this upon myself. I caused this to myself through, attracting this situation because of the fear that these termites in my head caused. So number one, admit that it's happened before. Okay. Number two, if it does happen, somebody comes in and they post about you on Facebook, they post about you on Twitter, they send you an email, a text message, they call you out. We must send them love. This is the missing secret ingredient, okay? This is the secret ingredient that only the top successful people know and do. When somebody sends you negative influence to you, whatever it is, termites, bad talk, whatever it is, first thing you got to do, send them love in your heart, okay? Send them love. If a friend comes over to your house and they've got a bag of termites and they say, hey, have this bag of termites. They slam the door. You gotta close the door on them and say, stop, excuse me, I don't appreciate your termites. Okay, disconnect from that person and send them love. Say, I love you. Please forgive me for wronging you or upsetting you. I love you. Please forgive me. And I love you. Move on. But saying those words, I love you, is powerful because it instantly overrides that negativity. Sometimes in the past, I've written an article, a blog, or syndicated something, and a bot, I call them a bot because they're always anonymous, right? It seems like it's an anonymous bot. It's not a real person. A bot will say, oh, dude, this isn't true. Or they'll say something negative. You know what? If I do see it, if I'm inclined to see it, I'll say, thank you for sharing. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'll write something like that on the post. If I really am inclined to have already seen it, I'll let them know. You know what they do back? Nothing. Because I've given them love. I've given them love. I've flooded them with love. And love is so powerful. It's the most powerful force there is in the universe, in the world, in nature today. There's nothing more powerful than love. So by doing that, it overrides that fear, that negativity. So the next thing, number 3. So first, acknowledge that it's happened. Second, send them love. Third, we must disconnect. Okay, we must disengage from that person. You know, there's something about people, and I don't know the psychology behind it or why, but there's something about people. Have you ever noticed maybe like a married couple, a friend that you know, that they just fight like cats and dogs? I have lots of friends, but you know, friends over the years, and I have one specific good friend of mine. Him and his wife. You know, when they're around us, it's like, oh, it's like good and cheery. But then there's those times where they just go at it and they fight like cats and dogs. But they still love each other, and it seems to be healthy for them. But I think what it is it's almost like an addictive feeling. They keep going back for more fighting because they're addicted to that energy. So it's important that you don't establish that addiction to the negative feedback. Okay. You've got to, I delete, block, and ban that person. Delete, block, and ban that. It's so, so important. Do not read it. Disconnect. If an email comes in, a post comes in, you see it up, instantly delete, gone, or close it, gone. It can be it's like an addictive drug. Like my friend, he's addicted to fighting with his wife. And they fight. They're not getting divorced. They're addicted to each other's fighting and negativity. It's toxic. It's a toxic addiction. It's like being addicted to alcohol or cigarettes. It's toxic. It hurts the body. You know, it causes a lot of pain and discomfort, and the body doesn't like it. So you got to delete, block, and ban that person, that post, so that it doesn't happen again. They're out of your life. Send them, admit that it's happened. Send them love. Delete, block, and ban. Disconnect from that person. Back to my friend with the tower here in Sacramento. So right, he's building this tremendous tower at the time. It's the biggest thing that Sacramento had ever seen. You know, it was a museum. It was like a museum. And so Sacramento, if you don't know, you know where I come from out here, it's like a top 20 city, and it's actually becoming an international city with a sports arena. So, but it's small time compared to New York City, compared to where he's coming from, right? So he's not really too worried about what people are saying about him in a small town like this, like Sacramento. He's there in the big city doing much bigger things, $250 million building on Park Avenue. So the way he handled the situation when there's all this negative press coming out is he doesn't read it. He doesn't engage. So when I'm there sitting with him, you wouldn't believe the energy he lets off. It's so positive. It's so I have everything I want in life. I need nothing. All I want is more joyful experiences and to provide more value. That's the aura that he's letting off. That was what the building was called, this aura. So just a tremendous lesson there is that I'm coming from a place of having what I need and what I want in life. And I want more experiences, and I want other people to share in these experiences that I'm having in this mastermind community and provide value so that we can share in a massive prosperity, massive abundance together. Okay, so if I'm coming from a place of love and from I have what I need, I'm only here to give. Okay, the law of compensation, which I talked about here in the master key system in the beginning, it provides an exponential return. 10-fold, 100-fold back in return. I've experienced this so many times in life. It's a universal law. It's true. It's talked about in the scriptures. It's talked about in the Master Key System by Emerson, by Napoleon Hill, by the great thinkers of our time. And if you provide value, okay, provide something of value to another person, not expecting anything in return, just providing it because you care, because you don't need anything, okay? Because I'm not thinking about me. I'm just thinking about providing something of value. And it's 99% of people, I think, have a hard time with that. And that's probably why they're experiencing challenges. So this is a key element to having success in anything in life, is understanding that I give without expecting to get. So why would I do this call every week? What's in it for me? Do I have something to sell here? No, there's nothing for you to buy. That is so beyond anything I see right now online. Do you point to another? I mean, I admit there are probably some, but I don't follow anybody that is not selling something and trying to push something on me. And there's very, very limited. And I'm literally here to not sell you anything, to not join me. I don't have an affiliate link. Isn't that crazy? I don't have anything for you to buy. I just want to unconditionally give value in the way of the law of compensation is written, okay? Because I know in my heart, and I know in my mind, and my thoughts, and I know in the pure essence of my being that that's what's right to do. And if I help others get what they want, like Zig Ziglar talked about, I'll get what I want anyways, okay? I'll get exactly what I want. So the last part here is I can't be obsessed with what other people are doing. In 2012, I was so scared of the end of the world. You know, I was that guy that was scared about the world coming to an end. Okay, I admit it. I was that guy. And I was reading all these news articles on InfoWars and Drudge Report and these books about how this is it. This is all going to happen, and things are going to hit the fan. It's coming to an end. You know, the end is near. I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh. I was obsessed with what these other people were telling me, right? I had to let that go. And just to give you a tip of how I did that, a book came into my life called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. It's actually written in like 1908 or 1906, even before the Master Key System. And there's a part in that book that talks about how, you know, I can't control. It taught me I cannot get upset about governments or about institutions, because without governments or institutions, we'd have anarchy. And I can't affect change on governments or institutions without being mega rich. So yeah, I'll send in my vote and all that. And that's great. I'm going to vote and do what I can in that way. But I can't have massive change or affect anything big without massive abundance. So it taught me, I said, wait a second. And he said in the book, I had to get rich first and help others get rich. And I'm not saying hand to mouth, you know, getting by. I'm talking about getting massive abundance first, a prosperity movement first, then we can affect change, right? That's what he's talked about in the book. So it started to rewire the way I thought about this. And I made a decision. I cut off TV. I cut off my subscription to InfoWars. I stopped reading Drudge Report. I stopped reading any of these fear propaganda sites about the end of the world. And what happened? 2012 came and went. The world didn't end. Things went on. And here we are today, better than ever. Okay? And this isn't about news. I'm not following all that. If you want to follow it, great. But what I'm saying is control. If I control, I'm only going to focus on what I can control. I had a conversation yesterday with a guy. Shout out to probably one of the best conversations I've ever had. Humbly speaking. Okay? This is I'm writing articles. Yeah, I like to write. I'm an inspirational writer, speaker. As you probably already can tell. And I'm writing articles for this blog platform called Zukul, and to become a featured blogger, right, on this law of attraction concept. And I'm talking to this guy. He and I have an hour and a half conversation, and I'll be honest, that's very rare. I don't have an hour and a half conversation with anybody. An hour and a half conversation. This guy broke me out of my shell. He's like pulling me out. He's saying, I've watched your videos, I've watched your blogs, and I got to be honest, you're doing great, but in order to be free, you know, you got to be me. You know, I have to be me. That's basically what he's telling me. In order for me to be free, I have to be me. I have to be real. I have to not hold back with who I am. And I'm watching back some of my other broadcasts and videos than before, and there's something like missing. There's something holding back about the realness behind it. And I just want to thank him for helping to bring that out, because this is an incredible release for me to have this on Fridays, this Gavin Mehl Global Mastermind for others. It's an incredible form of expression. You know, I can't sing, right? I actually could probably dance a little bit, but I can't perform and dance. I can't slam dunk a basketball yet. I'm working on that. It's one of my goals, to get up to 36-inch vertical leap, and I'll prove it to you when I get there. But I can't, I can't run a mile in under 4 minutes. I can't do a lot of these things, but I know how to talk, okay? And I know how to write. I know how to talk, and I know how to write. And those are the two things I do best, and I like best. I love best. So that's why I'm expressing myself this way. Now, you may have another way of expressing yourself. Maybe it's by playing the piano. Maybe it's by creating a beautiful painting or picture. Or maybe it's by masterminding with others and talking with your family or being around people that you love. There's some sort of creative energy deep within me, okay? It's a force that I can't put into words. It was ignited by Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, a specific chapter in there. And it is being released through this process here, this Gavin Mehl Global Mastermind process. It's a beautiful expression to me. I think it's beautiful. And I believe that it's going to provide tremendous change in the world and for the betterment of humanity, because my purpose in life is to spread love and prosperity to humanity. And there is an actual way that it's happening right now. Don't read, number 4. So you can't get caught up on what other people are doing. Magazines, other industry, following gossip. I had to disengage from all that garbage. There's two kinds of people in life: those that build and those that tear down. And hopefully you're around people that build. If you're not, it's time to make a quick change, because you're only a reflection. Your success in the future is a reflection of your 5 best friends. It's a powerful statement. I learned that from the Net Millionaire. Big shout out to him. One of my mentors. Net Millionaire always talked about how you're a reflection of your 5 best friends. And this guy is tremendous success online, one of the top affiliate marketers in the world ever in history. And he always talks about how I'm a reflection of my 5 best friends. And this guy came from humble beginnings. He was a janitor, sweeping the floors. No, street sweeper. He was a street sweeper. Came from nothing. Got his first Porsche at 23, working hard for it, sweeping these streets. And somebody came across him and said, "Hey, you look like somebody who could be doing a lot more than this. Would you listen to these tapes?" He started listening to these tapes, and this is probably 20 years ago. And the tapes were about personal development, self-growth. They started increasing his belief that he might be able to be something more than a street sweeper. And fast forward 20 years, as he stuck with it. And he disassociated with those 5 best friends that he had at the time, and he sent them love, but he moved on to bigger other friends, people that he admired, right? And if he couldn't physically sit down in person with a friend, you know what he did? This is a principle talked about in Think and Go Rich. It's a hidden secret. It's a hidden principle that only the ultra wealthy and elite know about and do. This is a hidden principle in Think and Go Rich. And the reason I know about this is because in Think and Go Rich, chapter 11, he talks about how his imaginary counsel. And at the end of the chapter, he says, come back and read this chapter again next month. And then read it again. And so what a lot of people probably don't do is they don't go back and read it again. But for the last 2 years, I have a reminder that goes off, and I go back and read that chapter every month. And so what I've really absorbed from this chapter, and what this guy, Net Millionaire, had taught me to tie this together, is that if your 5 best friends, right, are people that maybe you can't associate with, or that they're not even alive anymore, or maybe that they're somebody you can't get a hold of. Maybe it's a millionaire, billionaire guy that you're not going to be able to sit down with. They actually sit down with their imaginary counsel before they go to bed. Napoleon Hill did this in his imagination, and he had a mastermind in his own imagination. And it was just as simple as asking. Asking. It was just that simple. Ask. Ask for them to be there. And if you can't see them clearly, that's okay. It's a developed trait. But asking them to be there. I want you to be there, and I want you to tell me what you would do if you were in my situation. Well, how can I learn from your experiences? How can you teach me more from your success? What can I learn from it in my situation? And the answer may be you already know it. I mean, the answer may be nothing, silence. But it's a process here, and I'm telling you, this is a magical lesson about having your 5 best friends be of people that your income is going to be like. Okay, so a lot of people working online now, maybe you don't have the ability to be around these people, but no excuses are accepted today. NEAT, N-E-D. No excuses accepted today. I just gave you a solution for that problem. Cost nothing. Okay. And you don't have to go anywhere. It's in your imagination. It's right in Think and Grow Rich. All right, so call to action. Termites are like doubt. Termites multiply. They weaken faith. When it happens, when somebody comes in and brings a bag of termites to you, and I use the word termites just as a metaphor, a simple metaphor for any type of post, call, voicemail, email, text, anything. When it happens, love the person. Send them love. Disconnect from the person. Okay, we've got to get rid of these termites forever. How do we do that? Must read books daily, listen to audios daily, and attend events like this. Like this is an event. Attending this weekly will help you get rid of those termites, because my energy at a point right now in life is where I don't want, right? I don't need. I want to provide value, okay? And so hopefully that comes across in the way of truth, that this is something that you can come to and get that recharge of an event that you can go to. Going to a live seminar in person is even 10 times, 100 times more powerful. One I recommend if it ever comes is the Millionaire Mind Seminar. Anthony Robbins, Brandon Bouchard, these guys that have these massive tours, the great Zig Ziglar, like when he was alive, things like that oftentimes are free to go to. They're oftentimes free. So you can go to those. And if you can't go to something like that, local meetups, hangouts online, being around positive people, Facebook groups will make a huge difference. Oh, by the way, I want to share a powerful story. This is crazy. I had a fear of Facebook, okay? Ever since it started, I had a fear of Facebook. Years ago, I still have my group of friends, right? That I am around. Before I was online, I had a big successful business, and these guys played a joke on me, and they set up a MySpace account for me. So I had no idea. This went on for months, maybe even a year. They set up MySpace, and I didn't know why. I didn't know anything about it. All I know is people would come up to me and say, "Hey, dude, I got you on MySpace. Why didn't you get back to me?" Like, MySpace? What are you talking about? MySpace? I find out that these guys were managing this MySpace account for me as a joke. So ever since then, I had a fear of Facebook. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I can tell you why. I forget. It doesn't matter though. I had a fear of Facebook. I just got on it. I overcame my fear. I faced my fear after years. I overcame my fear and I did it. I jumped on Facebook. So Facebook.com/Gavin Mehl. You can connect with me now. I post on there all the time now. So I'm getting to know it. But there was a very profound experience I had today, this week. Life-changing. This story is going to tie everything together. And this happened to me as an exercise. I was given a challenge, and I want to share this because I hope that you can go through this experience with me as I paint this picture, because this picture is so. This is one of the biggest decisions I've ever had to make in life, and it happened this week, and I was faced with it. So on Monday, okay, I'm faced with a decision of deciding to hold on to material possession for sentimental reason. Okay, I'd have to fight for it though. I have to fight for a material possession because it had sentimental value, because it was my baby, right? Even though it was just a material thing, it was something I cared about. Even if it's just a material thing, I felt an attachment to it, right? I could fight for this thing, right? Or I could let it go. And yeah, it was going to cost me money. I was going to lose my money. Oh my gosh. So here I am, the rational, old school, logical thinker, and I got this trusted attorney that I've had for years. Shout out to Benjamin Cadronell. He's freaking sick, 9 years now, trusted attorney, probably the only attorney I've ever trusted in my life. I don't recommend trusting too many attorneys, but I actually brought him up, and before he was attorney, he came up with us from the beginning. So I trust the guy, and I say, hey, dude, met with him, and I said, what should I do in this situation? I've got this situation where I may have to fight to get this material possession, to keep it or hold on to it, or I can let it go and get nothing. But it might be an exercise for me that I'm given here. So I talked to him, and he's like, we agree that it makes no sense for me to let this thing go. No sense, he says. Here's how you could fight, Gavin. You know, you could open up this case, and you could file these motions and go through this process, and there was a good chance that I could win and it could be profitable. I actually could, looking at one side or the other. Option A, I'd have money, I have money on this side, income or profit, or make money from it, get money from it. Option B, get nothing, lose, just basically give the asset away, have nothing. I tell him, I'm like, Ben, there's something deep inside of me. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. And this may not make sense to you as an attorney. There's something that tells me that I'm supposed to give this away. I'm supposed to let it go. Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. And I didn't know how, I didn't know why, I didn't know exactly, it didn't make any sense. We analyzed this process. It made no sense at all. But there was a feeling in my gut. It's like a gut feeling. And this feeling I used to ignore. I used to just say, that doesn't make sense. Why would I listen to my gut? This makes sense. Look at the numbers over here. This is what makes sense. I could make more money over here. But there was something inside of me that saw past the short-term gain. There was something inside of me that saw the damage that it was going to do to my spirit by fighting. There's something inside of me that had experience fighting in the past. And I don't mean fighting physically, but I mean fighting legally and strategically, putting energy into negative fight over material things. And I've done this before. I've gone to court before fighting over material possessions. Fight. We got to fight. There was something inside of me that told me, Gavin, let it go. Let it go. And I knew my decision before I asked my attorney, his opinion. I felt like I knew my decision before I asked a few other people to run it by him that I care about, dear old dad. And I knew my decision beforehand inside of me, because I'm now at a point in my life where I'm going to listen to that quiet voice. I'm going to listen to that feeling in my gut. And there was that feeling told me to let it go. And so I let it go. I let it go. And I hope that this call today, Gavin Mehl Global Mastermind, number 13, number 31 technically, but it's number 13 that I've had on the Google Hangouts. I hope that this one goes back down, and I can go back and listen to this and say, that was the day you talked about that and brought it out to the public, that you said, let go of material possession. Let go of material possession. You know why? I went out for a walk. Right after this. After I got this news, it was like a kick in the stomach, right? Oh my gosh, this hurt so bad. I'm going to lose money on this. I'm going to let my baby, this is material possession. I might lose this thing. Wow, this is painful. I went out for a walk. There's something about going for a walk that is freeing. Something about being out in nature that set me free. And I had a profound, tremendous breakthrough experience. Something inside of me told me to let it go, because people are what matter. People are what are important to me. Helping people is what makes a difference. Connecting with people, telling people they can do it, looking into people's eyes, feeling a human connection with another person. And what really happened was I was on a walk, and I walked by a friend. I didn't even know a friend was living there. I walked by a street. I saw a friend I hadn't seen in years. He's like, "Hey, dude, how you been?" We walked and we reconnected as old friends do. And he's like, "Hey, come in and check out my new place." I go inside, we reconnect and talk for a while, and it was great. We parted ways. He had to go, and so do I. But it was right after that this came to me. I said, let it go. People are what matter. People are what's important to me. People are what this world is all about. Relationships with people that you love, sharing love with other people. That's really what it's about. That's what it brings joy and happiness and harmony to me. Seeing other people succeed. Seeing someone succeed when they hadn't had success. People are what matter. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks, and I started just bawling my eyes out, water pouring out of my eyes. I couldn't even describe the experience. It felt like a lightning bolt of love hit me, and I felt so happy. I'm losing this material possession, right? I decided I'm going to give it, I'm going to let it go. But I was happy because I know that the law of compensation says where there is one energy that goes from one place, right? Where there's appearance, which in the physical world, there's a law of compensation, which that the appearance of a given amount of energy anywhere means the disappearance of the same amount of energy somewhere else. I know that by giving up this material possession, by practicing the exercise of freedom is just another word of nothing left to lose. By saying, I've got nothing left to lose. I have no attachment to this material possession, that I can then be free. And I can be an open receiver to massive amounts of abundance. Hope this call helped you. Me just being real, because in order for me to be free, I had to be me. And this is just me talking. Gavin Mehl Global Mastermind call is just a call students from the student's perspective. It's not a guru's call, as you could tell. And I really didn't have much. I had a script, kind of an outline I wanted to follow today, but I talked a lot from the heart. I hope that it resonated with you. I hope that it helped. If you liked the video, do the thumbs up on it. If you have any questions, comments, or observations, write a comment below. Okay, I'm on Facebook now. You can have me on Facebook, Gavin Mehl, Facebook Gavin Mehl. I'd love to just connect with people and tell me that you watched the call. Tell me that it helps you. Tell me that it provided value to you. I would love to hear that. That makes my day, knowing that it helped just one person. Just one person. Okay, so if you did that, I would love to hear it. There is a massive movement that's changing. It's completely changing the industry and the way of marketing, online business opportunities. And if you haven't already joined the One Link Family Facebook group, I cannot recommend it enough. That's part of the reason I joined Facebook. Get in that One Link Family Facebook group. I'm going to be putting together a training series. Well, technically it's not my training series. I'm going to be putting together a way for people to get this training series for free. This is just the best training series I've ever I've ever been a part of or done in the way of learning online marketing. Okay, in the way of learning how to make money online and market yourself, build a brand. I'm going to get this put together, and I'm going to start giving it away to people because it's just another way to add value. And I'm going to have it to where you can give it away yourself. Okay, it's like you pay it forward and you're going to get back, because that's really the secret to success in the way of online marketing. It's giving value, giving something of value that's going to help the other person. Okay, that's really the secret. It's the law of compensation. All right, Gavin Mehl Global Mastermind number 13. I appreciate you following and listening to this long. And I hope that we made a profound impact on you. And I got a lot of energy. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to this channel. I want to grow it huge so that we can get this message out there to the world. Join that Facebook group if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, termites get in your head. Admit it that it's happened, right? That's the first thing to do. Second thing, send that person love. Okay, send them love. Disconnect with the person, disconnect with them completely, and then read books daily, listen to audios daily, attend events like this weekly, daily. Plan on being around other positive, like-minded people, because there's a movement happening right now, and it's a change from negative to positive. There is a negative cloud over the world, and that cloud is going to be eliminated fast. You know why? Because when a light switch is turned on in a room, what happens? It turns light. When the sun comes out, it's not dark anymore. The dark can't live in the light. So now that this light is coming, it is coming fast, and it's going to spread across the earth faster than anything has ever been done. It's called a mass awakening. Okay, it's a mass awakening. It is happening, and it's happening fast. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. This is Gavin Mehl Global Mastermind. I love you. I'll see you next time, same place. Be the best.